What if you actually don't know why you have the relationships that you do? It doesn't matter whether they are platonic or romantic. Have you ever actually taken the time to understand why you have the relationships that you do? Wouldn't it be wild to go decades of your life in relationships, all to wake up one day and realize that you don't actually know why you've had the relationships that you've had throughout your entire life? Repetition compulsion is a real fucking thing. Repetition compulsion is the act of unconsciously and subconsciously repeating the dynamics emotionally of our comfortable and familiar childhood, right? It's essentially autopilot, right? You've heard of autopilot, I assume. Autopilot is basically the same thing. It is synonymous with repetition compulsion. Autopilot is just doing something habitually, repetitively, over and over again, right? From childhood into adulthood, right? You're just doing things, and you might not even realize why you're doing them. You're just doing them, right? Maybe you have a bad habit of picking your fingers because whatever. I mean, I won't even label it a bad habit. It's rooted in something that is clearly unhealthy, right? Maybe you have a habit of doing something that's just not healthy for you. Maybe you have a habit of cultivating relationships that you don't even know why you're cultivating them. Maybe you have friends that you don't even know why you're friends with them, right? Maybe you've had romantic relationships that you don't even know why they're there. I'm not here to scare anybody. What I am here to do is to throw everything into question, because repetition compulsion is a real thing, and the act of keeping childhood alive through emotional dynamics of comfort and familiarity is a real thing. Do you know if your relationships are masochistic or if they're healthy, right? Individuals that were raised in healthy childhoods, they likely do not carry relationships that are masochistic. For those that don't know, masochistic is an unhealthy dynamic in relationships where you're in a relationship with someone, whether platonic or romantic, because you believe that you deserve to be abused. You believe that you deserve to be treated like shit. Masochistic relationships are unhealthy relationships. Masochistic love is unhealthy love. That's the reality of it. Let's make that very clear. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. This is the way that it is. You can absolutely spend the rest of your fucking life in relationships that are masochistic, with masochistic love and masochistic dynamics, where you're being treated like shit, but because it's familiar and comfortable to a dysfunctional, unhealthy, toxic, and abusive childhood. You can absolutely continue doing that. But the most important thing is understanding why you are doing it. If you know the why, you can wake up to potential unhealth in everything that you've experienced. And that's wild to me because for the longest time, I didn't actually know why I was in the relationships that I was in. There was a relationship that I was in that was unhealthy, and I didn't really understand the extent of the unhealthiness of it, right? The unhealth of it, um, until I actually started to see it for what it was. I was in the relationship and it was survival based because I thought that being in that relationship, and it was platonic, by the way, no names, boundaries. Um, I believed that being friends with the person made me cool, right? The person was exceedingly abusive. That's the reality of it, right? We are trying to keep our childhood alive through repetition compulsion, right? The comfort and familiarity, the emotional dynamics of childhood, we are trying to keep them alive, right? What were the very first friends like? What was your exposure to relationships, right? It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. And if you do desire to cultivate healthier relationships, by all means, you absolutely can. But that transition from unhealthy, toxic relationship dynamics to healthy might first look like, wow, that is fucking boring. Because you're used to the adrenaline and cortisol, you're used to the dopamine hits, you're used to the ups and downs, you're used to all of the fucked upness of everything, right? You might connect with somebody that is unhealthy or that is healthy, and you might be like, where's the fucking drama? Where is everything, right? And I'm going to use a key word here because this is probably one of the most important words that I will use in this video because it will really bring everything full circle. If there's one really important thing to understand about unhealthy relationships, it is that they distract the fuck out of you. What do I mean by that? I mean that unhealthy relationships, they lack healthy boundaries. When you're in relationships that have healthy boundaries, you are loved for who you are, right? You're not expected to be anybody else. So you are here, not pulled over here, not pulled over here, not pulled over there, not pulled over there, not. You're right here, and you are loved for right here. You are accepted for right here, right? You don't need to be validated. You don't need to tie your worth to the person. You're just fucking right here. And for a lot of people that have been in unhealthy relationships, they don't get that. They're here, and then the person tells them to go over here, and then the person tells them to go over here, and then this is not enough, so that over then this, and this, all over the fucking place. Unhealthy relationships all over the fucking are all unhealthy, just like my talking. Unhealthy relationships are all over the fucking place. What does that mean? It means that they are a massive fucking distraction. That's what it means. It means they're a distraction. Look over there. Oh my God, look over there. Oh my God, look over there. Oh my God, look over there. And the individuals that end up in these relationships are usually the ones that had unhealthy childhoods, that were expected to be somebody else, to abandon, to neglect themselves, right? They were raised in survival, right? And so they ended up in unhealthy relationships later on. Do you have these types of relationships? It's not good or bad or right or wrong if you do. It's just not healthy, and quite honestly, it's a fucking distraction. There's that word again, distraction. Are you aware of that? First and foremost, identifying whether or not you have those types of relationships is really fucking important. Really fucking important. Secondly, asking yourself why you have them is also important. Thirdly, understanding that they're a distraction. Because, I mean, aren't they? How much space do you actually have to be yourself? Are you being triangulated? Are you being expected to be somebody other than who you are? Is that comfortable and familiar to childhood? Right? Isn't it wild that we triangulate ourselves with other people to help people understand that we compare ourselves to other people because mommy and daddy did it, right? Oh, why can't you just be more like that person? Oh, why can't you just be more like that person? Repetition compulsion of triangulation in childhood. Hey, let's seek out people that compare me to other people or that compare other people to me. Hey, why can't you be more like this person? Why can't you be more? I feel like I'd like you more if you were more like that person. Hey, I feel like I like you more if you were more like that person. Do you understand what this means? Let me make this very clear as I end off this video. It is absolutely crucial to understand why you have the relationships that you do. Because if you don't, you might very well wake up one day and wish that you'd fucking known sooner. Because unhealthy relationships distract you from yourself. They pull you away from yourself. They have you involved in responsibilities that healthy individuals in healthy relationships would never take on. And it's very important to understand that because, I mean, who wants to get to 60, 70, 80, 90, however fucking long we're going to live in this new era of life post Y2K with all of these advancements. Who the fuck wants to get way down the fucking road and be like, holy fucking shit, I'm 80, I'm 90, and I'm now just discovering that all of my friends weren't actually healthy. Can I even call them my friends? I don't think that I can. That fucking sucks. Damn, they were never actually there for me. This was just a fucking fucked up fake dynamic. Well, unhealthy. Let's utilize the word unhealthy for this sake, right? Why do you have the friends that you have? Are they healthy? Are they just a dynamic emotionally of comfort and familiarity, of repetition, compulsion from childhood that don't actually give a fuck about you? And it's just one sided. Or are they actually healthy? It's a mutual back and forth, give and take exchange of healthy love. What do you have in your life? It's really important to understand this. Because if you don't, you'll wake up way down the line and you'll be like, oh shit. Chris was right. I should have checked this fucking garden. Look at all these fucking weeds. They are invading and overtaking. And it's all because of the comfort and familiarity from childhood, of repetition compulsion. Fuck. That's not fun. Yeah, no, that's not fun. Let's avoid that. Let's do better for ourselves. I will genuinely end off with this. The transition from unhealthy to healthy is interesting, to say the very least. There is somewhat of this feeling of boredom that transitions into depth, which transitions into euphoria and ethereal, right? If you're used to dynamics of drama and gossip in relationships, right? That's unhealthy, first and foremost. Secondly, when you transition out of that and then you start diving into healthy dynamics, you start to see yourself more. Become aware of it. It's very important. And by the way, let me make this very clear. I'm not here to tell you what to do. You can, like I was saying in the very first part of the video, you can do whatever you want to do. You can. That's the beauty of autonomy. You have free will. You can choose for yourself. But I definitely would not want to wake up decades down the line and be like, fuck. No thanks.